once you've built community, then it's much easier to translate that into movement and action.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What areas of the work would you say require the deepest investment?
That part.
Which is the soft part, and it's so hard to get folks, at least that's been our experience, to understand the soft aspects of it. I mean, we're on a wellness journey, even with our membership, because this work is hard. And the last year in this space has been beyond challenging. And folks are dealing with all sorts of anxiety and angst and fear and grief. But to say, we need XYZ for care and wellness and trauma remediation, that is, I'm interested, we're in the process of figuring how do we build the case for that, because it's so necessary, especially among Black leaders.
Can I add something to that though? I do, sorry, this is like my grad school rant. Like, I get frustrated with the term soft because soft is genderized. Yeah. And so there's this I'm forgetting her name, but this wise professor of mine that was like, the things that people call soft or soft skills are actually the things that are called life and survivalship, right? Yeah. When you think about individuals, and I'll confess, as like the attorney who went into Wall Street and thought that I was going to be judged on my work, but it was actually judged on how you socialize with everybody else. That was taught to me as a soft skill, and therefore for type A masculine spaces, you need to show your work because that is a hard skill. When the reality is, I think those that have more privilege are able to maneuver in both. Yeah. And so I love that you raised that though, because I do think for a lot of us, the concept of like these things are soft versus like it's hard to maintain relationships. It's hard to maintain relationships with people that were once strangers and now you're calling them family or comrade or accomplice. And when I think of how we have to move forward, and maybe not monolithic on every issue, but monolithic as like, we're in this together. Yeah. A lot of that is like, where's the incubator? Where's the time to like build that? So I'm sorry if y'all saw me almost get out of my skin. I was like, no, Kelly, you mentioned in the life stuff. You mentioned in the manna, like that's the stuff that's going to keep us together. And I do think we enter a lot of spaces where people are like, we don't have time for that. And so we don't invest in it. And then investors don't invest in it. Right. So it feels like we need to like shake that up a little bit and say like, we're not going to survive without community, especially people that inherited no land, especially people that inherited no full rights. What we created was culture, because that was the thing we could own and we could, manipulate. But that required like making the soft stuff hard. Yeah. And it's still hard. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we get money, but that's not building. Right. It's not building power. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like more of us are more rich than our parents, but it's not building power. So then what is the thing then that's going to harden, you know what I mean? Harden the connection.
And it's people say soft, it's mostly because they feel like they can't measure it, right? And I'm a data, I love data, but not everything can be measured with numbers. We know this, and that does not mean that it is not valuable. But I honestly think to help make the case to this point, it is those soft things in terms of community, creating those sense of belonging that it is foundational. And this is what I have been saying I say this to as many people who will listen to me, and they might get tired of me saying it, but I'm gonna keep saying it, is that those things is what allows us to sustain movement. So one of the things, at least from the political industry, right? Like you were talking, right? People come into spaces for all kinds of reasons. There's some big issue that's happening. There's a protest. Somebody talked about, their friend invited them. They come, but then they leave. Yeah. Yes. What is it the thing that makes them stay? Yes. Right. The thing that makes them stay is community. Right. It is that sense of home.